What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of my channel. My name is Yangji, and today we are going to be talking about how to maximize your earnings while you're driving an Uber. Now, maximizing your earnings does not necessarily mean that you're going to have to drive more. That means you're just going to have to drive smarter. And we're going to go over each of these points on how to do it. So, before we begin, if you guys are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe because I will be talking to you guys about how to become a more efficient rideshare driver out there so you can maximize your earnings while driving more efficiently. And if you guys are planning to sign up to drive for Uber, you guys can use my referral link below and you guys will get a guarantee or bonus, so don't miss out on that. Okay, so I have three main points on how to maximize your earnings while driving an Uber, and this is based on almost 2 years experience of driving for Uber almost full time while I was building my business. So make sure you guys stay to the very end and I will let you guys know which one is the most important of these three. Okay, so let's begin. So I have three main ways on how to improve your earnings driving for Uber. And the first one is, I'm sure you guys have heard a lot of, which is to drive only during busy times. Now, this is an obvious one because when you drive during busy times, you're going to get surge and you're going to get little waiting time in between ride requests. So those are the top two reasons why this number one point works. It's because of surge, and every time you drop someone off, there's probably a good chance that you're going to pick up another surge ride within a little waiting period. Also, on the flip side of this, if you don't drive during busy times, what's going to happen is you're going to get out there with one ride during a very off time, like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and once you get a ride out there, you're going to be waiting for a good 20-30 minutes from experience for your next ride. And what you're going to be doing during those 20-30 minutes? Nothing. And so that is really going to kill your time out there. And when you take it into consideration of how much time you're spending out on the road versus how much you're earning, that's gonna drop that metric for you. So do consider number one. Number two, which is my favorite one, and I think this makes a huge difference for me because when you wait for your first ride. So for example, when I used to start driving, I would used to just wait in my apartment for my first ride to come. And this is great because when you wait for your first ride, you could be doing other work in my apartment. I'm usually working on other things. And then when, the time comes, when a good ride comes, such as you get a good surge ride, if you guys are driving Uber Select, you could get a select ride depending on your area, and you can also get a long ride or a combination of these two of these three, which would make it a very good ride. So for example, I could be working in my apartment and a few ride requests come in and I would know which rides to take because Uber would kind of give you an indication of, is it going to be a long ride? It would show up as 45 plus minutes. It would show up as search. It would show up as select. If you want to take into consideration of you only want to do search rides plus 45 plus minute long rides, that's going to give you a pretty good combination of, a good fare. So that's going to make it worth it for you to wait for your first ride. On the flip side of this, if you don't wait for your first ride and you actually drive out there to try to pick up your first ride, that is very bad because what happens is when you drive out there to get your first ride, you're already wasting gas to drive to a destination to get your first ride. And once you get that first ride, it's kind of a desperate feeling because you're driving empty and you're really just taking whatever ride that you can get. And that might not be necessarily a good ride for you, because it could be a short ride and it just does not make sense. So when you wait for your first ride, you can always wait for a decent ride to come in before you go, versus if you don't wait for your first ride, you're just driving out there, you're wasting gas, and then at that point, you're probably willing to pick up almost anybody, which is not necessarily a good ride for you. So that could really kill your earnings as well. Number 3 would be only accepting close rides. Now, this is kind of subjective because, you could have you really have to just take into consideration of what kind of ride is coming in versus how long it's going to take you to go and pick up that person. So, of course, for me, if it's like anything over 10 minutes, that's for sure no. Because, one, the rider might cancel on you because it's taking that long. So while you're driving there, within 6 minutes of the 10-minute ride to get to your passenger decides that he does not want to take this ride anymore. And so he cancels the ride, and sometimes you might end up with a cancellation fee, but to me it's not worth, just driving out there and, get that cancellation fee. You might as well just wait for a better ride in your area. But it also depends on the situation you're in and the time and the search. So quite a few factors that you want to take into consideration. But, for example, if I'm in a very good area that I know search is going to come about, and in a very good time as well, and a ride comes in, and it's going to take me 10 minutes to get there, with the knowledge of I'm going to have the search in my area at this time, I am not even going to bother going out 10 minutes to pick up that passenger, because I know that there's going to be nearby rides that's going to take me less time to get there. So I'm not even going to waste time going through that 10 minutes. So, you really want to take into consideration, there are also ways around this too. Sometimes you could pick up a really good ride and it's 10 minutes away. You could accept the ride, and you can call your passenger and tell them before you even start driving that it's going to take you 10 minutes to get there. Is he going to be okay with that? So that is one way around it. There's quite a few factors that go into this. You really want to weigh out the balance of, is it going to be worth driving longer to get you to your passenger versus, you really just have to weigh out the pros and cons. But calling them ahead of time before you even start driving to get to them, that's a pretty good approach to do that as well. So you make sure that they don't really cancel on you. So I did that pretty often. If it's a really good ride, like if it's a select ride and it's a long ride, I might not want to miss out on that. So I might take it sometimes even if it takes me 10 minutes to get there. So I would just give them a call. So these 3 would conclude my 3 points on how to improve your earnings. And like I said, number 2 is still my favorite because it allows me to plan ahead of time and predict what kind of rides are going to come about. I love number 2 because, I could be working on something else while waiting for a good ride to come along. So, as I promised, number 2 is my favorite in here, and it's probably the main reason why I was able to just earn a full-time income while still working on something else. It makes everything so much more flexible. So, this concludes my 3 points. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have not yet subscribed already, please subscribe so you guys don't miss out on my next videos. And if you guys are planning to drive for Uber, be sure to check out my referral link below. Don't miss out on that guarantee or bonus after you click on my link. See you guys next time.